So one of the most common questions I get is, Bola, how do you invest your money? And so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of the ways in which I invest my money, specifically when it comes to the stock market. Now, I want to highlight that this is not investment advice. This is me sharing how I invest personally with you. And so I encourage you to do your research, understand what your investment objectives are, understand your risk tolerance, and seek financial guidance from a professional if you need help when it comes to determining what's going to work best and what's going to align best with your own financial goals. Okay, let's get into it. Hi everyone, my name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. I'm also the author of the Clever Girl Finance book series, the book Choosing to Prosper, and my Wealth Plan workbook. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So first, let's talk about where I invest my money. And my brokerage of choice is Fidelity. This is not sponsored, but this is how I chose this brokerage specifically. So when it comes to what I look for in a brokerage, I'm looking for a reputable brokerage with a strong track record, excellent customer service and research tools, easy access to my money when needed, and then low cost and even zero expense ratio funds. And when it comes to the brokerage of choice that I have selected to keep my money to make my investments, I have multiple accounts with them. And these accounts include my taxable brokerage accounts, my retirement accounts, including a traditional IRA, a SEP IRA, and a solo 401k, 5 to 9 college savings plans for my kids, a cash management account where I just keep cash that I want to invest or just cash that I'm holding, and then business brokerage accounts for my business. And there are several different brokerage firms out there that are reputable that meet these criteria. However, I specifically chose Fidelity because way back when I worked in corporate America, one of the plans that was offered to me by one of my past employers was held at Fidelity, and I just really liked what they offered. But like I mentioned, there are several other brokerages out there that are reputable. I'm a big fan of Vanguard, of Charles Schwab, T. Rowe Price. There are several others. So you want to do your research when you are choosing a brokerage and choose one that aligns best with what you're looking for in terms of customer service, in terms of access to your money, in terms of minimums to invest, and just how you feel generally about having your money with this brokerage. And also a reputation, to go online and read reviews, see what people are saying about them, and make sure you feel comfortable keeping your money there. And then my husband and I, we also hold investments with Transamerica, which is another platform I also really like. So now you know where I invest. Let's talk about what I invest in. And my portfolio is mainly built around broad, diversified index funds, ETFs, some bonds, and some individual stocks. We break down the difference between index funds and ETFs in a very detailed article on the Clever Girl Finance blog, and we will link it below in the description of this video so that you can read about the differences between index funds and ETFs. But the key to keep in mind here is broad diversification when it comes to investing your money in funds, and also low costs, low expense ratios. And so that is how I invest, broad diversification, and that's why I choose index funds or ETFs. And so when it comes to exactly what I invest in, here are some of my key holdings. When it comes to index funds and ETFs, I personally like Fidelity Zero Total Market Index, FZROX. This covers the total US stock market with no expense ratio. So there is no expense ratio to invest in this Fidelity fund. I also invest in the Fidelity US Bond Index Fund, FXNAX. This helps me balance risk with bonds because bonds are a lower risk investment. I also invest in Fidelity Zero International Index. This gives me global diversification. It gives me international exposure, and that ticker symbol is FZILX. And then I also invest in iShares Core S&P Total US Stock Market ETF, ITOT. This is a strong, low-cost ETF where I invest, especially when it comes to my taxable accounts. So when it comes to individual stocks, I keep individual stocks to a small portion of my portfolio. I primarily invest in individual stocks for companies that I really, really like, or to teach my children about investing. And so for the individual stocks I invest in, some of them include Apple, Microsoft, Costco, Amazon. I also have investments in LVMH, Hermes International, both of which are luxury brands. I have some investments in Gladstone Land Corporation, which is farmland investments, Coca-Cola, Meta, Adidas, Nike, and then a few auto stocks. Again, a key thing I want to mention is that I'm only investing in individual stocks if I truly believe in the brand. I've taken the time to do the research. I'm following up with the performance of the brand, on an ongoing basis, or I'm using that brand, that stock as a teaching tool for my kids. Otherwise, I primarily invest in index funds, ETFs, and some bonds. That is just the way I approach my investing. And so keep that in mind as you plan out how you want your investment portfolio to look. I am not huge on pursuing big risks. I'm also not into trying to time the market. I'm not into day trading. I don't have time to sit and monitor multiple individual stocks. I just like to invest over the long term. I'm more of a set it and forget it type of girl. And so diversification and index funds works really well for me, especially when it comes to stability and growth as well. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. And be sure to check out the Clever Girl Finance book series. These books are available everywhere that you buy your books from. They're also available as ebooks and audiobooks. And then you can check out my most recent book, My Wealth Plan Workbook, which will allow you to create your own personalized financial plan as you work on, paying off debt, saving money, creating investment strategies for yourself and for your family, towards building long-term wealth for yourself. And then you can check out the Clever Girls Know podcast. You can listen to this podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast episodes. I interview guests. We talk about things as it relates to investing, saving, paying off debt, and even entrepreneurship. And of course, you can stop by clevergirlfinance.com. There is tons of content on the website, articles that we update all the time, and over 30 plus completely free courses to help you as you work on improving your finances. Okay, let's get back to the video. So now you know where I invest and you know what I invest in. Now let's talk about my investing strategy. And this is basically my approach to investing. So how do I invest in what I am investing in? And my approach is very simple. I follow the 3-fund portfolio model, which is essentially US stocks, US bonds, and international stocks. And this 3-fund portfolio model is a simple approach to investing that was created by John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard. And it's all about simplified, diversified, long-term investing for growth and stability. And the Vanguard founder, John Bogle, he was a champion of index fund investing. And so basically, I am a long-term buy and hold investor, which I mentioned earlier. I'm not into day trading. I meet with my financial advisor twice a year. Yes, I'm a financial expert who has a financial advisor. And we review my portfolio. And the goal of reviewing my portfolio is to ensure that my investments align with my long-term goals. And so I always like to have a second set of eyes on what I'm investing in, what my husband and I are investing in. And that is why I also have a financial advisor. And we are very much on the same page. I have another video where I talk about what to look for in a financial advisor, which we will link in the description below. But, it's a good idea to have someone else, if you're not sure about your strategy, kind of walk you through, but you want to make sure that you and that person are aligned when it comes to their understanding of your goals and what you want to achieve long term with your money. I also keep my short-term money in cash and CD. So any money that I need for in 5 years or less, I do not invest it in the stock market. I keep it liquid and easily accessible. And so that is very high level what my investment strategy is. I follow the 3-fund portfolio: US stocks, US bonds, international stocks. I meet my advisor twice a year. I keep cash I need in less than 5 years liquid and easily accessible. So cash or in certificate of deposits. And that's pretty much what I do. And I also am investing for the long term. And so has my portfolio been perfect? No, I have made my own investing mistakes and I have made several of them. In fact, I have an investment in an individual stock that has lost about 82% of its value that I see in my portfolio every time I log in. I chose not to sell it because it's a reminder to me of what not to do when it comes to investing. So, what other investments do I hold? So, beyond stocks and bonds, investments in the stock market, my husband and I hold other investments that include things like angel investment in businesses, healthcare specific investments, real estate, and of course, Clever Girl Finance itself. So this business, Clever Girl Finance, is an investment, and this business has its own brokerage accounts where its money is invested in the stock market, and I invest on behalf of Clever Girl Finance in the stock market as well through the Clever Girl Finance brokerage accounts. Remember that investing isn't just about the stock market, it's about creating multiple streams of income as well. And so that is a priority for me, and that is why we don't just have investments only in the stock market. We have the other sources of the other types of investments that I just mentioned as well. So that is a high level glimpse of what I invest in, how I approach in my investment strategy, and what my portfolio looks like. Now I want to hear from you. How are you investing in 2025? What does your portfolio look like? What is your investment strategy? I'd love for you to share in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe to this channel. Stop by the website clevergirlfinance.com. Check out our free courses. Check out the Clever Girl Finance book series. Tell your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance. And if you are getting into investing, you're wondering where to start, definitely check out my book, Grow Your Money, Learn How Investing Works. Okay, I will talk to you next time.